Good morning, students. Today I'll be teaching you the poem The Squirrel by Mildred Bose Armstrong. It is a very interesting poem, but before going into the poem, let's discuss about the squirrel. You must have seen squirrels running around here and there all over the trees. So, squirrel is a rodent. It is a rodent. It is a very interesting and playful animal. It is a very naughty animal, and you must have seen many times and tried to play with it, so similar as the poet. This poem is about a little naughty squirrel whom the poet has observed in a garden very carefully. His tail was curved in shape, just like a question mark. The fur all over his body was grey in color. The poet saw the little squirrel sitting upright and eating a nut. He was very playful in nature, but whenever someone tried to approach him, he used to run away in opposite direction. The poem is He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. Now the poem starts with the line, He wore a question mark for tail. It means that the squirrel tail is shaped like a question mark, an overcoat of grey. Overcoat means a long thick coat that you can wear in cold weather. It means that the squirrel fur is grey in color and the poet thinks that it is wearing an overcoat. Now he sat up straight to eat a nut when the squirrel is running here and there. Then all the time its body is bent. But when it is eating a nut, it sits up straight. He liked to tease and play. He liked to tease and play. Tease means generally it means to annoy in a playful manner. Here tease means that at times the squirrel came near the poet as if it was going to approach him. But then it did not actually come near the poet. And if he ran around his tree, this line tells us that the poet and the other children with him, if they ran around his tree, whose tree? Squirrel's tree. To go near to approach the squirrel, then the squirrel went the other way. It ran in different directions when it was approached by the poet. So, in this poem, we summarized that the poet has described a squirrel with whom he is trying to play, but it ran away in opposite direction. So, he says that its tail, the squirrel's tail, looks like a punctuation mark, that is a question mark. He also describes its fur as an overcoat and says that when it eats a nut, it eats straight. Now we will learn about some poetic devices used in this poem. Firstly, personification. The poet has personified the squirrel by using he instead of it for him. Second, alliteration. It is the repetition of a letter at the start of closely placed words. The repetition of the letter S in sat, up, straight. Third, imagery. The poet has given the visual description of the squirrel throughout the poem. Fourth, anaphora. It is the repetition of a word at the start of two or more consecutive lines. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. That's it. I hope the poem is clear to all of you. Thank you.